Alrighty. We got Wild Mash versus, you already know, my boy Saitama. Big Gag Goat. Go Tommy. You already know. It's closer than you think. Bro, stop, bro. But anyway, man, let's hear his perspective, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's hear his perspective. Who you think gonna win? Y'all already know who I give it to. My boy Saitama, bro. That Big Gag Goat. But anyway, let's hear my boy. I like Mash too, man. I ain't gonna hold you. I do like Mash, bro. I feel like whatever. Well, let's go.
Two heroes tasked with protecting extraordinary worlds filled with literal gods and monsters while using nothing more than their comically overwhelming physical strength.
Let's go.
And they even sort of look similar too. So
I don't think they look similar to me though. They look this. I don't know. Not to me though.
it only really makes sense why you, your grandma, and everyone at her freaking bingo game too would suggest a fight like this. But while Mash Burndad is undoubtedly strong to an almost unlimited degree,
bro, dude, turn his whole head around.
By even uttering the name Saitama, you invoke a character
Look at that goat
with strength so unparalleled that he can seemingly defeat anyone in just
one punch.
So, as much
Look at my boy Mash, bro, man. Come on, who don't like this character, bro? Look at him. Even his little, whatever that cheesy donut thing, whatever that is. Cheesy puff or something, whatever he be eating.
as I've grown to love this goofy little guy after the past few videos, could we really expect him to take on someone like that?
Who? Me? I'm just a guy who's a hero for fun. I never lose.
Then bring it on, scumbag.
Bro, I'm not gonna hold you, man. I like the sub better. I don't know what happened to dub with me, man. Like the English version of the dub, man. I don't know, man. I like sub more better, bro. I don't know. I probably like reading. I don't know, but man, I choose dub. I mean, I choose sub over dub.
Now, with the pretty insane implications posed by the title and intro, I know we've got a lot of ground to cover if I want to avoid being crucified by the comments section for even suggesting that a fight involving Mr. One-Shot's your favorite verse himself.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, y'all don't even need to put Saitama don't even need to be in him.
Could be anything short of a complete stomp.
Bro, Saitama don't even need to be in these type of versus battles. Saitama don't belong in these type, like with Goku, Ichigo, Naruto, yeah, anyone, pretty much in the anime. He belong like versus like some Toon Force and Gag characters. He don't even belong in versus battle at all, really. So that I be saying, like, bro, y'all don't need to put Saitama in the versus battle because you already know he already gonna win regardless. The dude grow during battle. I'm like, what else? And did Master even remove his limiter? I didn't know that he removed his limiter, bro.
And to be honest, I'm sure most of you who suggested this probably feel that way too. Expecting Saitama to just dog walk little bro before hitting him with the serious belt. So to explain my thoughts behind all this, let's just cut the crap and
Let's hear his thought. Let's hear his perspective, bro.
Address the million-dollar question that precedes any Saitama matchup. Could Mash even really take one punch from the caped Baldy?
Me, I'm gonna go with no, but you know, if so, I mean, like, Saitama always holding back though, so.
My answer is yes. But to understand why, we've got to go all the way back to the only day
bro, look
where
at
muscles
this part, I'm like, bro, that don't make no sense, bro.
alone couldn't save our magicless wizard. Chapter 148, Mash Burndad and the Door's Demand, where we find the titular hero surrounded by an all-encompassing void, left unsure of the world around him until a veiled figure sitting atop a mighty gate confirms that Mash is indeed dead. His once seemingly limitless ability to overcome any obstacle placed in his way had finally come up short during his fight against the now fully manifested god of time, Innocent Zero, where Mash had his heart ripped from his body and succumbed to his injuries. But of course, even the clutches of death couldn't contain the muscles that flex for peace, causing Mash to break down the gates of heaven, a structure stated to transcend all of reality just to confront God himself, demanding that he be returned to life. Why I bring all this up though is because after touching the hand of God, similar to someone else our One Punch Man fans might recall, Mash attained strength far beyond what was conceivable to that point. What was once an enemy in Innocent Zero, who Mash couldn't even dream of handling, had now become someone who he could undoubtedly defeat. He flicks him across the battlefield, calls him names, and straight up pulls out the full-blown Gotskotski kick on him, all while the universe itself is slowing down to less than 1% of its regular speed, causing Innocent Zero to quickly realize that he was being thoroughly pummeled by raw power.
That's a good drawing right there, bro.
But in his mind, there were really no worries, since a god of time like himself could practically save and reset the timeline like a video game character. So he'd just try again, then again, and again, until it clearly dawned on him that he had done goofed. Because what he once saw as a minor inconvenience had now become an impassable roadblock. So ridiculously unbeatable that even with infinite do-overs and the most potent magic in the series, Mash would always be standing in his way. So what does any sane villain do in this situation?
Roll sad backstory.
If you answered that it's time to rage quit life and take the entire planet out with you, then you're finally starting to get where this time god save scumming gamer is coming from, because he does exactly that. Full-blown giant doom sphere of destruction, try and stop me now monologue and all. With everyone from the wizards to the random civilians and even the god dude himself saying that Earth is cooked. Making Innocent Zero's power level pretty analogous with what we saw from the likes of a Lord Boros in the one.
My boy Lord Boros, stop sleeping on Lord Boros, bro, man. That dude's still up and good. Well, he's somewhere, but you know, we ain't gonna talk on that.
Punch Man manga. Fortunately though, Mash took a page from the Patrick Star playbook, and while the rest of the cast used their magic to nerf the planet-destroying blast, he took the entire continent they were standing on and pushed it somewhere else, causing Innocent Zero to say screw it, give up on his lifelong plan, and bring everyone he offed back to life. Oh, and did I mention that Mash did all of this while still being nerfed from missing his heart, as well as suppressed by his limiter bracelets, which quite literally force him to only use a tiny fraction of his maximum power to avoid destroying, well, everything as collateral. And if you're wondering why I'm telling you about them instead of just showing you their effectiveness, this post-God amp version of Mash only participates in this one fight before the series conclusion. And although it's far and away his best performance in the entire manga, it's actually such a good performance that he doesn't.
It really should have been like Ichiko versus Mash, man. That's what I think it should have been, bro. That didn't me though.
Doesn't even bother to remove those limiting bracelets or activate his special peak fighting mode, preventing us from ever seeing his full potential play out on screen. Basically, imagine if Goku got so strong from training that he managed to beat Jiren, Frieza, or Beerus without even using Super Saiyan. Of course, it wouldn't mean he couldn't go Super Saiyan anymore, but rather that he was just so far above his competition, he decided not to. This is basically the situation Mash was in. However, using what we have seen for reference, a much weaker Mash went from struggling to play Wii Sports against Mach 7 projectiles to landing his punch squared attack, which is stated to contain 65,536 punches, all in an instant before his Mach 7 opponent could even perceive it. That's a gap from Mach 7 to upwards of Mach 458,752. And it's crazily not even his most impressive speed feat, with earlier parts in that fight showing him physically appear in thousands of places simultaneously to beat the God of Water using a bucket and some after images, clocking in at something more like Mach 30 million if you're being generous, which is 35 times faster than the speed of light.
I just want to know, did bro remove his limiter? That's all I want to know, bro.
And now consider that this quote-unquote mode has no drawbacks, weaknesses, or restrictions, as it's simply just Mash unleashing his maximum power, on top of the fact that post-GODAMP Mash, who folded a Planet Buster across what could have been infinite timelines, was already more than 100 times faster and stronger than that pre-amp weightless Mash, despite still having his weights on. Hopefully you can sort of start to see how that an end-of-series Mash, roided up on his multipliers, could start to get pretty unreasonably strong, even without ever mentioning his other form, Weakness Mode, which is unironically even stronger than just a plain weightless Mash due to its pseudo-Ultra Instinct-esque ability, where his muscles relax, causing him to be more difficult to hit than paper in the wind without compromising power. This state of perfect lethargy is described as the ultimate muscular mode, and directly multiplies Mash's weightless power level for a sort of doubled power-up type deal. But saying my piece on all that, I hope my explanation becomes clear. Mash, definitively, at his most restricted and fatigued, defeated this Boros-esque character with planet-busting attacks and hyper-regen in the form of Innocent Zero, and Boros, in both the OPM manga and anime, can eat one of Saitama's normal punches while in his suppressed armor form, and even outright deals damage to him, if only slightly, with his attacks. This lines up pretty consistently with Saitama casually holding down S-class heroes like Tatsumaki.
And I know y'all saw that new manga. The new manga. Empty Void. Let's go.
Who could slice continents off the earth, as well as the now iconic cover page depicting Saitama bench pressing 2 black holes, which would require enough force to destroy every continent on Earth just to lift their weight once. So, while I'm obviously not trying to say that Boros, Tatsumaki, or this random cover page are any sort of comparison to Saitama's uppermost limits, the whole concept of a serious punch would disprove that on its face. But when you remember that Mash himself couldn't even be bothered to bring out his own maximum power against this similar planet-threatening force, it's at least not entirely unreasonable for both Mash and Saitama to be unironically kind of competitive in their casual stats, making a hypothetical Mash, roided up on all of his multipliers, potentially too strong for the iconic punch. But of course, the real contention comes down to that
My boy bleeding.
fabled serious punch and Saitama's real maximum output, because in all reality, nobody in the current main continuity has ever gotten up from one of those, and it's usually sort of the benchmark for any Saitama versus somebody discussion. Fortunately though, we're actually given quite a few ways to calc out the upper limits of what such a punch might be capable of. From booping Boros and his planet-destroying attack with just the winds off his fist, to the general scale of some of his other serious attacks, serious punches' raw output should be confidently above those planetary levels, with the higher ends of what it can do being best shown during the earliest portion of the Cosmic Garo fight, where Garo himself, who had similarly touched the hand of God, learned all the secrets the universe had to offer in terms of both martial arts and natural phenomena, up to and including learning to fire off his own mini gamma ray bursts, which are the strongest explosions to naturally occur in our universe. Yet, despite all that knowledge and power, the only way he could imagine beating Saitama was by copying his serious punch. Now keep in mind, Garo's gamma ray bursts are often calced out to be capable of destroying large planets like Jupiter, due to just how large the black holes he forms are, with Saitama himself even outright implying that if one of those bursts even grazed the ground, Earth would fall apart like a microwaved Swiss cheese. Of course though, when Saitama does finally go on to have his own, now infamous Punch Squared scene, we get to see the real cap of a serious punch's destructive capability. With the ensuing force of the colliding hits, even once teleported out into the upper atmosphere hundreds
Oh yeah, I know y'all hear it. Y'all hear that thing in the background. Y'all hear that theme song in the background. Y'all hear that background music. That's that One Punch Man season 3. Let's get it.
Of miles away from the planet, still setting off effects so catastrophic that Earth would have been shattered as cosmic collateral if the force hadn't been redirected by blast. With even said redirected force of the punch's shockwave sending the pair flying some odd 800 million miles away in a few seconds to land on one of Saturn's moons, which is actually pretty in line with those large planet to potentially small star estimates from before. And some would even argue that this hole in space on the panel here would have to equate to dozens of solar systems, if not galaxies, being vaporized in their clash. Although, considering that nothing in our own solar system was destroyed, including the moon they literally collided with, as well as the fact that blast never implies any wider universal danger, I personally chalk this up to the light from those solar systems being dispersed or redirected away in this collision, especially considering that Murata, the artist for One Punch Man, is actually pretty knowledgeable on space stuff, so he likely wouldn't draw the feat this way if he intended to make Saitama's later showings in the fight at the much lower scale we see, as opposed to this hypothetical galaxy-destroying punch squared, for kind of obvious narrative reasons that I'll get into in a bit. So sure, Mash could pretty much definitely no-sell a normal punch, and maybe even keep up with a casual Saitama if the duo were just goofing off. But is there really any way to argue that Mash can even hurt Saitama, let alone survive a full-blown serious punch?
I believe even if they were goofing off, Saitama still will be growing as he's goofing off with them. That's how I see it, bro. Saitama grow during battle, bro. Or Saitama grow during if he even playing with Mash.
Well, again, Garo did already show us that just a copied normal punch could seriously damage and draw blood from the Baldy. So if Mash is already well above that life-wiping club, where the normal punch sort of capped out against, then go figure, he too could probably damage Saitama, however minorly.
But I did my boy like that.
As for the serious punch though, if you believe in the lower metas presented for Saitama here, then all it would really take to go from planet level to that larger planet level would be granting Mash's two forms at least a 100 times multiplier apiece, since they can seemingly stack on top of one another. And considering we already know that Mashal's version of the Bankai, second magic, is a 10 times increase, and that third's magic, which is an even stronger version, grants a larger increase, trying to say that Mash's own comparable maximum modes don't have a similar multiplier after he's already beaten multiple thirds magic users in the past would just be pretty silly, making it almost impossible to argue less than that 100 times increase necessary, even at the lowest interpretation for either mode. Then, if you fold in Mash's insane understanding of biomechanics, letting him regen by crushing his muscles together, instinctually react to attacks like a Diet Goku, kick his legs together fast enough to fly, and all sorts of other ways.
That don't have me crazy like this dude right here.
Stuff, I'd go as far as to say that he might not just survive current Saitama, but may genuinely be able to push him to a point that no one else in his own story ever could. To pain, to exhilaration, and to excitement. Mash's outright comical strength has the potential to push Saitama to what he's been searching for all this time. The thrill of a real fight. Except, we already know what happens when Saitama reaches that fight he's always been searching for. And although he may have gotten what he finally wanted,
see, that the part people fail to realize. They go with this one right here, bro. They don't read the background of Saitama. You say, I finally might have gotten what I wished for.
Saitama wasn't in the least bit excited.
Exactly.
Even with
this right here. If you go and read that, the thing about One Punch Man, Saitama, like, my name is Saitama. I'm a hero for like fun, a hobby, all that other good stuff. He said, I would like to feel the rush of battle. Y'all just gotta go read it thing, man. This right here, literally, this right here, what it says it all, bro. He want to feel the rush, but I am not slight bit excited, bro. Yeah, but people run off with their own everything. But people run off everything, and they really thought Cosmic Garden was the whatever. Can't make it up, bro. You can't make this up.
Prospect of going against someone
Cosmic Garden never meet those requirements. He never met those requirements for Saitama. He wasn't even it. But let's go.
who could stand against his full power.
And the dude using one hand, bro.
Because when these exact events played out against the monster with God's power, cosmic fear Garo.
But like I said, y'all entitled. Y'all entitled though. But Cosmic Garo never met those requirements. Saitama didn't even feel the rush of battle fighting him.
Who had successfully copied every single aspect of Saitama's limitless power, he was still no match. As even now, Saitama was continuing to grow. His strength began to explode due to an upsurge in emotion like none that he had ever experienced before. And despite Garo,
I mean, yeah, you read it. It was saying, what is that? Saitama, what normal rate? His normal rate was unnoticed. It still was growing unnoticed, bro. During this whole battle right here, it was still growing unnoticed.
at one point being Saitama's definitive equal, in the span of just one chapter, there was no longer anybody left who could truly measure what level Saitama's strength.
Wait. Oh, this would have yeah, there was no one. Yeah.
Reached. His sneeze, the literal force of his sneeze, was
The narrator said there was no one, measure can reach his measure and stuff like that.
capable of blowing away Jupiter in the vacuum of space. And Garo, like all of us, quickly
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, the moment I saw that right there, man, like, yeah, would have called it quit right there. That's it right there. That's all you need to see right there.
realized he wanted no part of that. And then the rest is history. Garo
Yeah, he had in the manga, like, I guess him and they were looking at Garu was looking at him. Dang, I guess he looked at the sun or something. He was looking at the sun. I guess he punched Saitama somewhere over there, somewhere near by the sun. He punched him over there because he was looking at something that had to be the sun, bro. So he punched him over there. He farted. Yes, he farted behind. Well, first, Garu made it through the portal. He said, "I'm finally here." Yeah, Saitama, he was behind him. Garu want to know how he got back. The fart, and then came with the punch right here. Here go the punch when they went back down to Earth. Yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all saw the manga. Y'all saw it.
got stomped, Saitama became apathetic again, and the duo agreed this was a pretty crappy timeline to be stuck in. So Garo shared the greatest
If anyone can master the power of God without taking God's hand, it's you. Let that sink in.
knowledge the universe had to offer, and Saitama learned it on sight in just a matter of seconds, then used this technique to rewind the clock, beat Garo in one time-warping punch, and merge back
Zero punch before it even landed.
with his main timeline self to forget all of it. But of course,
That's why y'all gotta watch the manga, bro. I know y'all watched the Empty Void. Blast saw the whole fight, bro. Blast saw the whole fight. Gino, confirmed it. People were downplaying Gino, bro. They were downplaying Gino so bad.
we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't. People were downplaying Gino so bad. Now you got Blast that saw it. Come on, man. Yeah, Empty Void probably saw it too. Possible. I mean, he was looking. He and Zord, Empty Void, Zord, Cosmic Garu, all that power and whatever. But yeah, let it go.
Hopefully cementing where I stand on this topic. Well, you could debate all day and night about the absurd, almost gag comic levels that a theoretical Prime Mash could reach, and even make a decent case for the guy being...
I gotta look what the author said about him. I gotta look what the author said about Mash, bro. But he doing some silly stuff too now. Some stuff that I can't even put the word, like the part where he like flying in the air That episode right there when he was using his feet, like, bro, what the?
able to
Crazy.
walk off the full power of Saitama's serious punch, it's never been a problem for the One Punch Man to just throw another. And when he does, he's gonna get stronger. Add in
He grow during battle, bro. So you know, once again, his number way to grow was unnoticed the whole time.
the fact that Saitama can adapt to any power level, can kick away intangible things
That got up Toon Force stuff. That right now, some Toon Force whacking stuff he doing right now.
just like Mash's door feet, and has the capacity to learn anything under the heavens.
And that right there, toss it off right there. Infinite strength and power. That's all you need right there. That is all you need right there. That's why I say you do not need. Oh, can y'all see that? Wait, let me disappear my face for a sec. That right there, bro. That's all you need to see right there. That's all you need to see right there. Says it all. Infinite strength power, bro. Translate that. I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
It should be pretty clear that having no limits is simply a power that you just can't beat the stuffing out of.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't beat no one like that. That's why I say you don't put Saitama in versus battles. But they'll try to cap that somewhere. I'm like, bro, what's the point of even having a conversation with them type?
But I still think Saitama being pushed to his limits in an all-out fight against someone who just wants to go home and make the world a better place, one pastry at a time, might just be the exact kind of thrill our hero for fun was always looking for in the end.
Nice fight, man. Should be proud of yourself.
Oh my God, bro, that English dub, man, I don't know what it is.
And that's
My boy just want to eat some s'mores.
thanks.
All right, bro. Don't get too sentimental. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. They tell me with the W, man. Well, I do like MASH too, man. So you already know. Link up in the description on all that good stuff. Let go.